Liverpool supporter, you have to play and get beat to get experience. Arsenal cannot expect to do something quicker than Man City with Pep. That's a fair
they
point.
have experience losing in Europe under Arteta.
Fair point. It's a very, very fair point, Joseph. I like that. On to Liverpool. G, what a difference. You know, a game of two halves was literally the game tonight. But in the end, Liverpool reigned supreme, 4 goals, 4 points clear at the top, and then full steam ahead Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, man. I think I said this before. Liverpool are such a weird team to gauge because we're inevitable, but at the same time, you also know that the first half of games are going to be kind of crap. So we're just praying that scoreline doesn't get too crazy. And obviously it's Luton, so I'm not too worried. But Luton played well. They played well in that first half, and I felt like they were in the game. Even though I thought we should have scored, Diaz should have obviously got his goal when he was obviously through on goal. But they were playing well enough where I thought, you know what I mean? If they score another one now and we continue playing like this, it's going to become a bit of a, you know what I mean, squeaky bum time. But whatever Klopp says at halftime, I want to understand. Like, I would love to see if he does this documentary. What do you say to the team at halftime, and then what do you say to them at full time? Because then the next game is always the same pattern. Because then we still start off shit the next game, and then you're good the second half. So I just want to know, what do you say? Because something isn't really working. Whatever you say at halftime, can you say that at the beginning of the game, please? And then allow us to, you know, start off games a lot better. But
I know it's probably
less
offensive.
stressful.
I know it's offensive, but I think English people are still allowed to take the piss out of Germans. At halftime, I just, you know, I think it's from Inglourious Bastards, you know, and the guy that's playing Hitler is like, 999. I just can imagine Klopp going. Because when Germans get angry, it is scary, even if they're being nice. Even if they're being nice, it's scary.
And that's the thing. But look, listen, we won 4-1. There were some really good moments. There were obviously people got their agendas, so there's some players that I know people are going to talk about, you know, after the game and stuff like that. But we won 4-1, the top of the league. You know what I mean? It's right now, things are just, even though I don't like it, right now the performances don't really matter. Like, it actually doesn't even matter. Just get the 3 points, go home, we do our job. As long as we do that and we can continue getting the wins, even whilst we have all of these injuries, no one can complain. Do you know what I mean? You just get the 3 points and you bounce. And I think just for Liverpool's sake, it's just one of those ones. Like, if we're not going to play this beautiful football, I think I gave up after like 2 years of Klopp. Like, it just ain't going to happen. So now in the last season, where we're just trying to go for trophies and we're just trying to win and we're trying to literally, you know, be that aggressive team who every single game the mentality is always there. Like, even if we go 1-0 down, home or away, we still have that belief that we will come back in games. We've had it all season, and I have to big up the players, the manager, everybody for that, because even when you're facing against tricky teams, awkward teams like Luton, you're still sitting there thinking, all right, can you just score before the 50th minute? And even if it doesn't come, 60th minute, just score, whatever it is. We kind of always know that we will score a goal. So yeah, we'll take the 3 points, man. I'm easy with that.
Can I make a point off the back of that, even as an Arsenal fan? Because I didn't watch the game today, but I've watched a lot of Liverpool over the past few years, even like back in the day, obviously, when it was Klopp versus Pep Guardiola. And I've always felt with Liverpool, right, they didn't have the same domination of the game that Man City had. So I'd see them give away chances, give away goals even. But then obviously Alisson was superb at times. But one thing about Liverpool is they'd always find a way to blitz you. Like, you could be in the game and then they'd score one and you're out the game 10 minutes later. So I think if Liverpool stay in the game, as soon as they get that first goal, momentum, you've got the Anfield on behind you, you always find a way to get that second goal, third goal. If you ride it out, fair play. But concede that first goal to Liverpool, then it's a long day. Then they go 3, 4, 5, etc. And the game's out of sight.
You literally described this game in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as soon
literally.
as
That's
Virgil
game
van
went.
Dijk scored, it was curtains for Luton because we just kept on creating chance after chance after chance. And it should have been about 4 goals after Virgil scored. To be fair,
yeah,
we had a couple of shots that Kaminsky did really well in saving. I think it was against Conor Bradley and also Virgil van Dijk as well. But like G says, I want to just reiterate what G says. We can't be doing this on a regular. We can't be praying like.
But you can't. That's the crazy part. You end up. I get it. You can't in theory, but in practice, you're doing it over and over and over and over again, and it's February.
No,
so it's almost like I get it. I agree with you, but you're somehow doing it.
I don't think the first half was that bad.
No, first half you guys weren't good.
But in terms of a clinical edge point of view, about taking your chances,
because I think we should have scored 3 goals in the first half.
Oh, we should score 4. We should have scored 4.
We should have scored 3. Like Diaz had 2 chances, and Gakpo had a chance there, and it's kind of like when we missed our chance, we started the first 10 to 15 minutes quite well, and then when we started missing those chances, that's when Luton started getting into the game, and then they scored, and I was thinking to myself, all right. Is it going to be one of those days where we don't score early chances and then we score last minute and it makes it 1-1 and we drop points like the first game at Luton? You get what I'm saying? But
you missed a bunch of them.
We kept on creating chances the whole game, and I was thinking, Luton, you're opening up a little bit too much for us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, that's what Luton do. Again, watching it, wanting my biggest rivals to lose, I'm watching it thinking, Luton, why aren't you shutting up shop? But even against Man United, in the second half, we should have scored 4 or 5 goals in that second half. In fairness, other than their header towards the end, they hit the bar. They didn't do very much in the second half, Luton. They're very much they're a moments team. They're a brilliant moment team, if that makes... Normally what happens is, and I've watched this pattern against all the big teams this year, you get loads of chances in the first 15 minutes against them. Then they come on strong for the next 20 to 30 minutes of the game. Then you'll get more chances. And it's a case of, it was Spurs' game. They only won 1-0. They could have been 4 up in the first 5 minutes. United, we were 2 up, could have been 3 up, could have been 4 up, conceded. They had a good spell in the second bit of the first half. And then we had all those one-on-ones, and that's just what they're great to watch, but also annoying to watch when you want them to get a result. They really are.
Why, when it went 2-1 and we scored those 2 rapid goals, I was saying to myself, we have to get a third, because as you said, they're a moments team. One set piece, one corner. They've got very physical strikers as well, very fast wingers.
And Morris.
And you don't know where we will just slip up for like one defensive moment and boom, it's 2-2. But this is where Liverpool
they had that one-on-one, didn't they?
Exactly.
They had that one-on-one in the second half.
Exactly.
That's when that was at 2-1.
And this is where this team, specific team's professionalism is actually growing through the season, where we're saying, all right, cool, we'll go get another one, and then we will shut the game down. Because to the second half of the second half, we were controlling the ball a lot more, where they were counter-attacking, and we were just snuffing it out and just, again, giving it to our attackers. I mean, Gravenberch and Gakpo played very well. Luis Diaz, I was about to get onto him, but composure with that goal.
Excellent goal. Little touch.
The only thing I'm concerned about, though, is, like, I've never really talked about injuries so far this season, because we've managed to kind of keep most of our players fit, and when one player goes down, usually someone, when Salah went down, for example, Jota had just come back and things like that. Like, our bench today was very, very thin. Like, that was pretty much our strongest team, other than maybe
that was our under 15s.
And so there's very little leeway right now, because if we start having more injuries, then it could become a serious problem. But whilst we had those players on, it was kind of okay.
Do you know what? When I was looking at it, I was thinking, I thought if Luton did get a second goal, I don't think you'd have won the game, just because the pressure would have mounted, because there is no bench right now. For you guys, genuinely, your injury crisis right now is
bench.
Yeah, I mean, your injury crisis, Liverpool, is as bad as Man United has been at our worst this season, where you look at it and go, first 11 still okay, but you look at the bench and just think, Jesus Christ, what's there? And I mean, if you have to play this team on Sunday, I get a feeling Darwin and Salah will be there, but if this is your team and this is your bench for Sunday, like, Chelsea already have a chance, of course they do, but it becomes a completely different game with that team and bench in a final.
Terry, this is what I've been saying in the group chat. This is what I'm saying in the group chat, that Liverpool are still favourites for the final. I still expect my team to win. But before when we had our players, it was kind of like a foregone conclusion, and it's never a foregone conclusion. But most fans will say, yeah, Liverpool, they will beat Chelsea. But the gap has gone closer now because of all these injuries. And to be fair, Chelsea do have good players. Look at the way they played against Man City. Mm-hmm. So Liverpool are still favourites. I'm not hiding away from that.
But one of the things I'll give Klopp credit for this season is that he's rotated quite well. Like he's brought in young players. He's rotated the squad as and when necessary. And we've always kind of done enough. Certainly, like first half of the season or first third of the season, we were a bit erratic. Like, you know, people playing with us through us much more easily, and we were giving away chances. But over the last probably 12 to 14 games, the solidity has returned. We still give away the odd chance, but generally speaking, we control the game much more, and we rotate players well. If we haven't got the ability to rotate players, and we're coming into the business end of the season, it's going to get difficult because I think we could play a potential now of 26 more games if we go as far as we can in the Europa League and FA
We've already played 39.
League and so this is like it could become a problem. We need to get some players back just to help with the rotation.
Who's everyone gonna bet on Sunday?
Huh?
Chelsea or Liverpool?
I'm not going to bet on Chelsea.
I would still go right now. I'm still going to go with Liverpool because I think Darwin and Salah will be back. I think they were rested today because I think the niggles and whatever they've got are real. But I think they'll do it, Liverpool. But
here's a question. What do you guys think is more likely? Porto advancing versus Arsenal or Chelsea winning the trophy on Sunday?
Chelsea winning the trophy.
It's more likely.
Okay.
Well, because obviously that's a one-off game. Like, to be fair, they're both one-off games.
Both are one-off games, yeah.
Yeah, but one of them is at Arsenal's home ground. The other one's at a neutral stadium.
Yeah,
so I think
neutral stadium.
But also, why Porto have a head start? Porto also have a goal up.
Yeah.
Whereas
That's the
equalizer.
I think if Arsenal score early, though, I think that game, like, floodgates open. Those teams like Porto, because their whole structure's built on defense. You get one goal, floodgates open, you'll blitz them 4-5.
They can play good football attacking wise, though. Like I said, I watched them. They can't go punch for punch. They did it.
Open up, then we go up against them. Because when Sevilla opened up against us, when Lens opened up against us, when PSV opened up against us, Arsenal beat most teams in the world opening up. I worry when you sit back and defend. That's when we struggle and he counterattack against us. But if they go punch for punch with us, every day we'll beat them. I guarantee that for a fact. I worry if they sit in a low block, we'll struggle to beat them. That's my problem. But yeah, going back to the question, I think Porto got more chance than Chelsea, in my opinion. I think, look, Chelsea in big games this season haven't been bad at times, but Liverpool have had their numbers in the last few finals. I just don't want a 0-0. That's the biggest thing for me. Because the last two finals are rubbish.
Well, we did like what we were still doing watch-alongs back then. We did 2 watch-alongs for those finals a couple of years ago, and we had the studio packed out with people, and it was dead. Nothing happened.
No, the FA Cup was kind of fire, but we just couldn't finish.
In fairness, I hated doing those shows because everyone had their phone notifications on, and sometimes people knew a goal went in before the rest of us. And for me, I'm like, you literally kill the vibe. You kill the vibe when you know a goal's. Like when I have to come back in this office, right, my brother has a TV on in there because I have to stream it in here on whatever I'm doing it on. You're always like 30 seconds behind. I go in there, right, and I pause the TV for 30 seconds. Like, you're not ahead of me because I hear him celebrate goals, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, do you know what I mean? It's just, I know what's going on now. Laddie here says this. Sorry, mate, go on.
I remember the final where it was me and Tom and Jem and I can't remember who else was there from. And Jem it was the penalty shootout, wasn't it? And Jem knew the score from the penalty shootout before. And
I know. And then I found myself just looking at him in the end, going, well, no point watching the screen. I might as well watch for your reaction. This was Champions League football. It's not about league form or better players. It's the win by any means. Porto, a negative. Have you played Atletico yet? Yeah, they're the same thing. Beat shit West Ham and Burnley teams. Mikel Arteta thought he could do the same to Porto. Will always fall short against the teams that keep their shape under pressure. It's from Cliff. Thank you very much, Cliff. Luton's 1-on-1 was offside, so it doesn't count. Fair dues, Woodsy.
Goalkeeper don't know that.
Yeah, true. The first half wasn't bad. We played well, just didn't score, which Liverpool should have scored 3. The second half, we upped the tempo and scored 4. VVD was class today.
No, I think they're talking about Kwanzaa Terry. That's the new nickname, VVQ.
VVQ.
Yeah.
Oh. Don't do
Liverpool lingo.
Don't do that to I'm not fluent in SCAS. Look,